Hi, Professor. What are you doing?
Well, I'm doing some experiments with gravity. I took these two funnels and I hooked them together, and now they're going downhill, and I'm going to make them go uphill.
That's impossible unless you push it uphill.
Well, let's find out. How about that? They went uphill. But if gravity is the unseen force that makes everything fall to the ground, how do the funnels move uphill? And that's exactly what we're going to find out today on Science Fundamentals. Legend has it that when Newton observed an apple falling from a tree, he developed his new ideas about gravity and motion. Some unseen force, Newton concluded, affects matter. Now, matter is the amount of stuff in a material body. Okay? Matter makes up everything. Apples, trees, cars, human beings. Matter has certain properties. One of these properties is mass, which is the amount of stuff that's in an object. Another fundamental property of matter is that matter attracts other matter. Matter is what all things are made of. Now, this is what intrigued Newton. The apple with a small mass fell to the ground because of the gravitational attraction of the Earth, which has a larger mass. Now, the force of gravity has an effect on all different kinds of matter. It is a force that acts from a distance as opposed to contact force where objects touch one another. And gravity is only a one-way force. For us on Earth, gravity attracts objects toward the center of the Earth. Now let's do a simple activity. Inertia is the resistance to any change in motion. A moving object either stays at rest or in motion until another force stops it. Meaning, if I throw this ball, it's going to keep on going straight out until it hits a wall, or unless somebody catches it. But it arcs and falls to the ground. Why?
Because of gravity?
Yes, gravity. Gravity pulls it in a straight path downward to the Earth, so the ball falls. Here's another activity. We're going to take this chair, and we're going to take these books. Come on, help me, Jennifer. And we're going to stack them up, and then we're going to put these up here like this. Now, Michael, what I want you to do is I want you to grab this like this, and I want you to push it this way as hard as you can, and then stop real quickly, okay? Put your hands back, you guys. All right, go. Whoa! What just happened?
The books fell off the chair to the floor.
Right. Why? Do you know why?
Gravity?
Gravity, exactly. Now, the books continued moving forward and fell off the chair to the floor. If there were no force pulling the books downward, they would have continued straight. In fact, if we look at the experiment in slow motion, we can see that the books continue to travel forward in a straight line while also falling to the ground. Now, another property of the gravitational pull of the Earth is that when two objects are dropped, they will accelerate or speed up at the same rate. However, air resistance will act upon them differently. All right, now let's try another experiment. Here's what we're going to do. You've probably heard the idea that an elephant and a feather dropped out of a window at the same time would fall at the same speed. But due to air resistance, they won't hit the ground at the same time. Air resistance is going to affect the feather differently from the elephant. Now, since we don't have an elephant or a feather, we'll do our experiment with a piece of paper and a book. Put the book in one hand and the paper in the other. Now, drop them at the same time. They hit the ground at the same time?
No, but I thought they were supposed to.
Think about it. What is the resisting force on the paper and on the book? What will cause friction to slow it down?
Air?
Air, exactly. And since the paper's mass is less than that of the book, it's visibly affected by the resistance of the air and therefore doesn't fall at the same rate. Let's place this paper on the book, and you hold this, okay? Now drop them together. Now, why did this happen? Michael?
Because the force of gravity pulled the paper down off the book.
Okay. Jennifer, what do you think?
Because the gravity pulled it down?
Right. Junior?
The book had pushed the air away from the paper.
The paper no longer had to deal with the air resistance. When the paper is sitting on the book, gravity pulls equally on both objects. The air is pushing up against an object and slowing the speed of the falling object. The book's speed is not changed much because its weight and downward force is greater than the upward force of the air. Now, the paper's weight equals the upward force of the air resistance, and therefore, alone, it would fall at a slower speed. Gravity affects the movement of the planets as well as being the force that keeps us and everything else on Earth from flying off into space. The Sun exerts a gravitational pull on the Earth and the other planets in our solar system, and this is what keeps us in orbit. Now here's an activity that will show why satellites and the planets, which are natural satellites, stay in orbit around the planets or the Sun. Now we made a cone out of poster board by drawing a circle 22 inches in diameter and cutting it out. We overlapped the circle to form a cone and fit it snugly into a coffee can with most of the cone sticking out of the top. Now we'll tape the cone so that it doesn't open up. And now we'll tape it on the outside of the can to hold in place. Here, Jennifer, I want you to take this marble and I want you to roll it around the top. Okay, go ahead. What happened?
It rolled around and then went to the bottom.
Yeah. The marble rolled around the inside of the cone, and then its path began to move downward as the speed slowed. It finally came to rest at the bottom of the cone. Now, what if there was nothing there to stop its speed? No friction.
It'll keep spinning.
Right, exactly. Now, just as the planets stay in orbit, let's talk about something closer to home. Now, what I'd like for you to do, Junior, is I'd like you to come over here and stand up on one foot, right here. Just about. Stand up straight. Now I want you to take your right knee and bring it up as high as you can without falling over. Okay, now the reason that you can balance on one foot is because of a principle called the center of gravity. It's the point inside your body where the force of gravity seems to act to keep you balanced. In other words, to keep you from falling over. Now, when you lose it, say if I push you, you will lose your balance or center of gravity and fall over. Here's another simple activity using your body, which will illustrate the center of gravity. Now, everyone can try this one. Come on, you guys. Let's go stand over here against the wall. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take these cups, and I'm going to place them about 20 centimeters in front of you. There you go. There's one for you and one for you. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to bend over and pick these up without bending your knees. You can't bend your knees. Try it. Go ahead. You see? You can't do it. You almost want to fall over, don't you? Now, here's what let's do. Okay, now step away from the wall, and I'll place the cups in front of you again. Pick them up now, still without bending your knees. See? It worked well because you could push your backside away like that, and it kept your center of gravity right in the middle of your body so that it allowed you to bend over and pick it up, okay? Well, what happened?
The more I leaned over, the more I felt I was going to fall.
Yeah?
I couldn't bend because I was too close to the wall.
When I was away from the wall, I picked up the cup easily.
This all has to do with the center of gravity. In order to pick something up, our legs and lower body have to move backward in order to stay balanced. The center of gravity of our body has to remain above our feet, which is the pivot point supporting our body. Standing straight with your back against the wall made it impossible for you to move the lower part of your body backward. The forward bending of the upper body shifts the body's center of gravity toward the front of the pivot point, and the whole body topples or moves forward. Simply put, the center of gravity is the point where an object balances and where all the weight of an object appears to be located. Now let's do another activity that will explain the center of gravity. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take this manila folder and these scissors, and I want you to cut out an object, a shape, irregular. Don't make any sides equal. Don't make it a square or a triangle. Just make a crazy shape, okay? That's it. Hey, you've had experience with this, huh? Okay. Good.
Like this, Professor?
Yes, thank you. Exactly. That's perfect. All right, now, Jennifer, what I want you to do is I want you to take this punch, and I want you to go all around this crazy shape that Junior's made, and I want you to punch 4 holes anywhere you want to around the perimeter, okay? Very good, just like that. Good. Okay, now we have Junior's piece of paper with the 4 holes in it that Jennifer did. Now, Michael, I want you to take this washer, hold that, take this string and tie one end of it to that washer. Can you do that for me?
Yes.
Okay, Michael, what I want you to do is I want you to come over here and I want you to take this tack and I want you to pick any hole you want. Go on over here to the tack board. Stick it through any hole you want and hang it up there, okay? Good, good. Perfect. Come on over here. Now, let the paper and the string swing freely. Now, I'm going to hold this on here like this. I want you to draw a line. Make sure the center of gravity is working on this thing here. And we're going to make a line. Draw the line. Right. Very good. Now, Junior, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take that pin out and put it in another hole and hang it again, okay? Very good. Very good. Very good. And it's hanging good, okay? And this is hanging good. Now I'm going to put this here. Jennifer, would you draw another line for me, please? Very good. Come on. There you go. Okay, good. Now, Junior, would you do it again with the holes? There you go. You got it. That's right. That's right. Now, that's practically the same. We don't even have to draw it in there. But we're going to just for the heck of it, okay? All right, draw that, please. What we're doing is we're keeping the ruler parallel to the string as it hangs, okay? Now do it again, please, Junior. All right. And you can already see what's happening. We're all crossing. We're converging at the same point, just like that. Okay, now here's what we've done. We've got lines on this paper that we drew wherever the string was dangling across, okay? Now, can you stick your index finger up like that for me, please, Junior? Very good. Now, we're going to take the area, this point where all these lines converge, we're going to put it right on his finger, and what should happen?
It should balance.
It should balance, exactly. Why? Because we found its center of gravity, okay? Now, the place where an object balances, the center of gravity, is the point on the paper where the 4 lines cross. If you place your finger anywhere else, it won't balance. Why don't you try it at home sometime? Remember, the Earth's gravitational force pulls downward on everything. The center of gravity is the place where an object balances and where the weight of the object appears to be located.
But Professor, how did you get the funnels to roll uphill?
Well, that's a good question. Now, let's do that experiment again and see how, with all we know about gravity, this activity defied it. Is this really possible?
No, but it is going uphill.
Or is it? Look at it from the table level. What's happening to the very center of gravity of the funnels?
They're going downhill.
The sides of the funnels narrow to a small hole. The center of gravity of the funnels goes down, even though the sticks slope up. So gravity was never defied at all. And remember, when you do any experiments at home, get a grown-up to do them with you because they're going to have fun too, and they're going to realize that science is fundamental.